Hello and welcome to another update on the Natgas futures chart NG1. Just wanted to give you an update because the price has pushed a little further into our resistance area here for white circle B. Please remember, Natgas is not really covered too regularly here just for capacity reasons, but whenever I get a moment, I give you an update because I know it is very popular. So maybe in the future I can find a process to do that a bit more efficiently or more frequently. But overall, the levels are still being respected. So structurally, this move up can still be seen as a B wave in our wave 2 correction. I think in the last video I shared with you an ideal target area highlighted here in blue for this B wave. Why is this on the chart? Well, because if you have an ABC structure like that, then the C wave would often reach the 100% extension, in this case $4.07. So from that point of view, nothing really unusual here. Also, this B wave is well within standard Fibonacci resistance. Normally we say a break above the 78.6 retrace level could indicate something different is playing out. However, please consider that whenever the A wave, as shown here, A wave of this current wave 2 pullback, whenever the A wave is a 3-wave pattern, then the B wave can also be a 3-wave pattern and overshoot easily. That's what they can do, because it would then often be classed as a so-called flat correction. But then again, in wave 2s, overshooting B waves are quite rare. So I'm considering, is this really the most likely scenario? Because again, a flat correction in a wave 2 isn't super common. But for now, it's respecting all parameters anyway. And we don't have a sign that this B wave has topped yet. Okay, so we want to talk a little bit about that. I also want to share with you what else it could be if it continues to grind a little higher. So in the move to the upside here, which is an ABC structure, we might be able to track a certain nanostructure. So to get a little bit further clarity, we need to understand how is this C wave actually unfolding. And as I said, it could grind a bit higher. So even though we have a rejection from a typical target, could it still grind higher? And yes, I think so. The way to label the C wave is probably also as an ending diagonal, to be fair, in which this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be my count for wave C of circle wave B, which means we are likely now in the 4th wave pullback in wave C. Now, is this guaranteed? Absolutely not, but I can tell you if we break below this wave 4 pullback, then we likely have a top. And that means the C wave down has likely started. So the support area would be based on the idea that wave C is a diagonal. So we have to consider that it could reach, it could be deep, okay? And this is just standard support I show you here. So 354 to 376. One more high seems probable based on this. However, if we get any break below 354, then it is more likely that the C wave down has started. I would also want to see a 5-wave decline then to confirm that further. And also it's important to understand we have a key level here, another support level at 343. That would be basically the B wave of the 3rd wave here. And that is another key level in such a diagonal. So please note that $3.54 is not an invalidation point for one more high, but it is a level that, if it gets triggered, some kind of a top is in. So this would be my preferred scenario here, the white count at the moment that we're in a B wave rally. We might get one more high in that B wave, okay? But please note we need to pay close attention should the market break below $3.55. Then the focus can shift to this support level at $3.43. What if that breaks as well? Then there'll be another support level to watch, especially if the pullback is corrective. Now, if the pullback is impulsive, it's most likely wave C of 2. But if the pullback is corrective, we might consider something different, which is the yellow count, which I would treat at the moment as an alternative, but definitely a likely alternative. In this case, we get one more high in this wave 1. Hold on. Okay, so wave 1 would extend once more. Not unlikely. And I will tell you when I will start to rule out this scenario. Because it could be that wave 5 is simply working on an A, B, C structure. Like this. So it means that so at the moment they are the same. You know, the count in wave A and circle wave B is the same. Any break below the upper micro support means that we are either already in yellow wave B or white wave C. And yellow wave B would need to prove itself, so it would need to give me an impulsive reaction to Fibonacci support for yellow wave B, which I'm going to add to the chart right now. What we don't want, hold on. we don't want that yellow wave B breaks below $3.09. So that would be an additional level of confirmation that the white count is actually leading. Technically speaking, as long as we're holding above $3.09, the chart could move higher in this fifth wave and just in one extension of wave one. Yeah. The yellow count is considered because in our white scenario, this internal fourth wave would sit here, and it's a very weak one. So I'm not necessarily convinced that really we have 5 waves up in wave one. We might get one more high, but overall it will lead to the same result. And that means in the very short term, if you're really very, very short term oriented, the focus could be on the upper micro support, $3.55 to $3.76. A break below would shift the focus to that support area here, $3.44 to $3.09, with that red line as additional structural support. Below $3.09, the larger support area for all of wave 2. Okay, so that gives you all the levels to watch. I think that we can consider. The roadmap shows that even in yellow wave A and white circle wave B, one more high seems likely, especially as long as we're holding $3.54. That would be currently the preferred pathway. That's the update on Natgas. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested in additional updates on stocks, the S&P 500, Nasdaq chart, and much more, check out our stocks membership. You can find the link in the description. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.